My coworker got me pregnant. I can't believe my husband crashed out and did this. It's 2:47 a.m. on a Tuesday, and I'm sitting on the edge of our king-sized bed, staring at the positive pregnancy test in my trembling hands. The blue digital screen glows in the darkness of our bedroom, illuminating my face with its damning evidence. 2 little words that would normally bring joy. Pregnant. 5+ weeks. No, 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 I whisper, my voice barely audible over the sound of my husband Marcus snoring peacefully beside me. He's sprawled out on his back, one arm flung over his face, completely oblivious to the bomb that's about to detonate our 8-year marriage. I think, this can't be happening. It can't be Jason's. We only slept together twice. Twice! What are the fucking odds? My heart hammers against my ribs as I slip the test into the pocket of my robe and tiptoe to our ensuite bathroom. I close the door quietly before flicking on the light, wincing at my reflection in the mirror. Olivia Reynolds, 33, successful marketing executive, unfaithful wife, and now pregnant with her coworker's baby. I splash cold water on my face, trying to calm down, but my hands won't stop shaking. I grip the edges of the marble countertop, my knuckles turning white. Get it together, Olivia, I mutter to my reflection. You can fix this. Marcus never has to know. Standing in the elevator of Horizon Marketing Group the next morning, I'm smoothing down my pencil skirt for the 20th time. The doors open on the 14th floor, and I step out, immediately scanning the open plan office for any sign of Jason. My stomach lurches when I spot him by the coffee machine, laughing with 2 of the graphic designers. I duck into my private office and close the door, leaning against it while I catch my breath. Through the glass wall, I can see the entire office, including Jason, who looks up and catches my eye. He smiles and gives me a small wave. I don't wave back. My phone buzzes in my purse. It's Marcus. Hope your presentation goes well today, babe. Love you. I stare at his text, guilt churning in my stomach. Marcus, my steady, dependable husband who works as an architectural engineer. The man who supported me through every career move, who surprised me with breakfast in bed last weekend, who wants to start trying for a baby this year. The irony makes me want to scream. A knock on my door makes me jump. It's Jason. Hey, stranger, he says, stepping into my office and closing the door behind him. At 37, Jason Bennett is the creative director who joined our team 6 months ago. Tall, with tousled dark hair and the kind of confidence that fills a room, he's everything Marcus isn't. Spontaneous, outspoken, electric. We need to talk, I say, my voice tight. Jason grins, leaning against my desk. About last Friday? Because I've been thinking about it all weekend. Your office couch deserves an award. I'm pregnant, I blurt out, cutting through his flirtation like a knife. His smile falters, then disappears entirely. What? You heard me. He runs a hand through his hair, leaving it even more disheveled. But we used protection, both times. Well, it failed. I sink into my chair, suddenly exhausted, and now I'm screwed. Jason paces in front of my desk. Could it be your husband's? I laugh bitterly. Marcus had the flu 2 months ago, and then he was away at a conference in Seattle. We haven't had sex in over 8 weeks. Shit, Jason whispers. What are you gonna do? I look up at him, my eyes hard. I don't know yet, but I needed you to know. He nods slowly, then asks, what about us? I know we said it was just a fling, but... There is no us, Jason. I interrupt. There never was. This was a mistake that got way out of hand, and now I have to figure out how to deal with it. The hurt in his eyes is immediate, but I don't have the emotional bandwidth to care. All I can think about is Marcus, and how I'm going to explain this to him. Or if I even should. 3 days later, I'm walking along the riverfront path near our apartment, the autumn sun warming my face despite the crisp air. Marcus walks beside me, our hands occasionally brushing but not quite holding. He suggested this walk, saying we hadn't spent enough time together lately. If only he knew why I'd been avoiding him. So I was thinking, Marcus says, breaking our comfortable silence, maybe we should start trying. For a baby, I freeze mid-step, nearly causing a jogger behind us to collide with my back. What? Marcus stops too, turning to face me. The sunlight catches in his sandy blonde hair, highlighting the flecks of gold in his hazel eyes. At 35, he has laughter lines starting to form at the corners of his eyes, evidence of his easygoing nature, his readiness to smile. I know we said we'd wait until next year, he continues, But Ethan and Zoe announced their pregnancy last night, and I don't know, Liv. I think we're ready. Don't you? I feel like I'm gonna be sick. Right here on the Riverside path in front of the Saturday morning crowd of joggers and dog walkers. Instead, I force a smile. Can we talk about this later? I'm not feeling great. Concern immediately replaces the hope in his eyes. Are you okay? Do you need to sit down? His kindness makes everything worse. I think, I don't deserve you. I never have. I'm fine. Just, let's head back. As we walk home in silence, I make my decision. I'll tell Marcus I'm pregnant and let him believe it's his. What other choice do I have? The alternative is destroying everything we've built together, hurting the man who's loved me unconditionally for nearly a decade, all because I couldn't keep my hands off my stupidly attractive coworker. 2 weeks later, I'm standing in the bathroom mirror again, this time at the Graham Hotel downtown. The company's annual awards dinner is tonight, and I'm wearing a black dress that hugs my still flat stomach. No one would guess I'm carrying a secret that could explode my entire life. I've told Marcus about the pregnancy. His face when I broke the news, pure joy, tears in his eyes, the way he lifted me off the floor in a spinning hug, haunts me every night. He's already bought a stuffed bear. He's researching the safest car seats. He called his parents. I splash water on my face, careful not to ruin my makeup, and head back to the ballroom where the dinner is in full swing. Our table is populated with the senior management team and their partners. Marcus is deep in conversation with our CEO's husband about sustainable building materials, his passion for his work evident in his animated gestures. Jason sits 3 tables away with his team. When our eyes meet across the room, he quickly looks away. I slide back into my seat beside Marcus, who immediately places his hand on my knee beneath the table, a habit he's developed since learning about the pregnancy. These small, protective touches, as if to reassure himself that we're both really there. The awards portion of the evening begins. I'm only half listening until I hear my name called for Outstanding Marketing Campaign of the Year. Marcus squeezes my knee and whispers, "That's my girl," as I stand to make my way to the stage. Under the bright lights, accepting the glass trophy, I scan the crowd and see Marcus beaming with pride. And then I see Jason. His expression unreadable, his applause mechanical. I want to thank my amazing team, I say into the microphone, but most of all, my husband Marcus, whose support makes everything possible. The words taste like ash in my mouth. Later at the bar, Jason corners me while Marcus is in the bathroom. "How long are you going to keep up this charade?" he asks, his voice low and intense. "Forever," I reply, not meeting his eyes. "It's better this way." Better for who? Not the baby. Not in the long run. I finally look at him. "Stay out of it, Jason. We made a mistake. Let me handle the consequences." "A mistake?" His voice rises slightly, drawing glances from nearby colleagues. He lowers it again. "Is that all it was to you?" Before I can answer, I feel an arm slip around my waist. Marcus has returned, his smile easy but his eyes questioning as they flick between Jason and me. "Everything okay here?" he asks. I force a smile. "Jason was just congratulating me on the award." "Oh, well thanks, man," Marcus says, extending his hand to Jason. "I'm Marcus, Olivia's husband." I watch as Jason hesitates for a fraction of a second before shaking Marcus's hand. "Jason Bennett, creative director. Your wife is very talented." The tension in the air is so thick I could choke on it. But Marcus seems oblivious, his arm still protectively around my waist. His thumb absently stroking my hip in that familiar way that used to make me feel safe, but now feels like a brand of ownership I no longer deserve. "She's amazing," Marcus agrees, looking down at me with such obvious love that I have to look away. "And soon to be an amazing mom, too." Jason's expression tightens. "Congratulations," he says flatly. "When are you due?" "July," I answer quickly before Marcus can do the math. "Early July." Jason's eyes narrow almost imperceptibly. He knows I'm lying. The baby is due in late June. "Well, I should get back to my table," Jason says. "Nice meeting you, Marcus." As he walks away, Marcus leans down to whisper in my ear. He seemed intense. "Everything okay with you two professionally?" I nod, not trusting my voice. "Let's dance," I say instead, pulling him toward the dance floor where I can hide my face against his chest and pretend, just for a few minutes, that I haven't ruined everything. 4 months into my pregnancy, I'm sitting in a booth at Riverview Brunch, an upscale restaurant overlooking the city's waterfront. My baby bump is visible now, and I've taken to wearing flowing tops that somehow make me look both pregnant and professional. Across from me sits Zoe, my closest friend since college and, coincidentally, also pregnant. Our due dates are just 3 weeks apart, which Marcus finds endlessly amusing. Our kids will be best friends, just like you two, he keeps saying. If he only knew. So, Zoe says, stirring her decaf latte, have you and Marcus decided on names yet? I shake my head. He's pushing for family names. His grandfather was William and his grandmother was Elizabeth. Classic, Zoe nods approvingly. And what does Jason think? I nearly choke on my orange juice. What? Zoe gives me a level look. Come on, Liv. I've known you for 15 years. You think I can't tell when you're hiding something? The way you two looked at each other at the awards dinner was not subtle. I feel the blood drain from my face. Did Marcus notice? No, thankfully your husband is wonderfully oblivious, but I'm not. She reaches across the table to take my hand. Is the baby Jason's? The question hangs in the air between us. I consider lying, but I'm so tired of lies. So tired of carrying this alone. Yes, I whisper finally, tears springing to my eyes. And I don't know what to do, Z. Marcus is so happy. He talks to my stomach every night. He's converting the guest room into a nursery. He's reading parenting books. Zoe squeezes my hand. Oh, Liv, what were you thinking? I wasn't, I admit. That's the problem. Jason was new and exciting and made me feel, I don't know, desired in a way I hadn't in a long time. Marcus and I had fallen into this comfortable routine, and I got bored. The moment the words leave my mouth, I realize how terrible they sound, how shallow and selfish. Does Jason know he's the father? I nod. He wants to be involved. He says he has a right to know his child. And what do you want? I look out at the river, at the boats gliding peacefully across its surface, at the joggers on the path where Marcus had unknowingly asked me to try for a baby that was already growing inside me. I want to go back in time and undo all of this, I say finally. But since I can't, I want to protect Marcus from getting hurt. Zoe gives me a sad smile. I think it's too late for that, honey. The cafe at Northside Park is bustling with Saturday morning activity. Young families occupy most of the tables, children's laughter mingling with the clinking of coffee cups and the hissing of the espresso machine. At 6 months pregnant, I'm acutely aware of the families around us, of what I'm about to destroy. Marcus sits across from me, his hands wrapped around a mug of black coffee, watching me with concern. You've been quiet all morning, he says. Is everything okay with the baby? I nod. The baby's fine. Then what is it? You've been distant for weeks now. Is it work? Is Jason giving you a hard time about taking maternity leave? The mention of Jason's name makes me flinch. No, it's not that. Then what? Talk to me, Liv. I take a deep breath, steeling myself for what comes next. We're in public because I thought it would force me to keep my composure, to stop me from falling apart completely. Now I'm not so sure it was a good idea. Marcus, I need to tell you something, and it's going to hurt, and I'm so sorry. His face changes, the easy smile replaced with cautious concern. Okay. The baby? My voice catches. I clear my throat and try again. The baby isn't yours. The words hang in the air between us, cold and final. Marcus doesn't move, doesn't speak. For a moment I wonder if he's heard me at all. Then I see it, the exact moment the words register, when understanding dawns in his eyes, followed immediately by pain so raw it takes my breath away. What? He finally says, his voice barely audible. I'm so sorry, I repeat, tears now flowing freely down my cheeks. I made a terrible mistake. I slept with someone from work, and the baby is his. Marcus sets his mug down carefully, his movements deliberate, controlled. Who? He asks, his voice flat. I hesitate, but I've come this far. Jason, my creative director. Jason, he repeats. The one from the awards dinner, the one you said was just a colleague. I nod, unable to speak through my tears. Marcus leans back in his chair, his face unnaturally calm despite the storm I can see brewing behind his eyes. How long? It wasn't a relationship, I say quickly. It happened twice, last fall. Twice, he echoes. And you're sure the baby is his? Yes, I whisper. The timing, it has to be. Marcus nods slowly, processing. Around us, families continue their Saturday routines, unaware of the devastation at our table. A child laughs loudly at a nearby table. A barista calls out an order. "When were you going to tell me?" Marcus asks, his voice still eerily calm. "After the birth? When the baby didn't look like me? Or were you just going to lie forever?" "I don't know," I admit. "I wanted to tell you right away, but I was scared. I love you, Marcus. I made a terrible mistake, but I love you." He laughs then, a hollow sound devoid of humor. "Love? You don't even know what that word means." "Please." I reach across the table for his hand, but he pulls away. "We can work through this. We can go to counseling. I'll do anything." Marcus looks at me then, really looks at me, his hazel eyes cold in a way I've never seen before. "There's nothing to work through, Olivia. You're having another man's baby. You've been lying to me for months. How am I supposed to come back from that?" "I don't know," I say again, hating the inadequacy of my words. "But I love you, and I know you love this baby already, even if—" "Stop," he interrupts, his voice finally cracking. "Don't you dare use this innocent child as a bargaining chip. This isn't about the baby. This is about you and the choices you made." He stands up abruptly, nearly knocking over his chair. "I need some air. I need to think." "Marcus, please." But he's already walking away, his shoulders rigid, head held high as he navigates through the maze of tables and out the door of the cafe. I watch him go, aware of the stares from nearby tables, the whispers from people who've overheard enough to piece together our drama. I think, I've lost him. I've lost everything. I don't see or hear from Marcus for 3 days after the cafe confrontation. He doesn't come home, doesn't answer my calls or texts. I take sick leave from work, unable to face Jason or my other colleagues in my current state. On the 4th day, I'm lying on the couch in my living room, staring blankly at a reality TV show I'm not really watching, when I hear a key in the lock. I sit up too quickly, making myself dizzy, as Marcus walks in. He looks terrible. Unshaven, with dark circles under his eyes, wearing the same clothes he had on at the cafe. But there's something else, too. A resolve in his posture, a clarity in his eyes that wasn't there before. "You're back," I say unnecessarily, my heart pounding with hope. "Just to get some things," he replies, his voice neutral. "I'm staying at Ethan's for now." My hope deflates. "Oh." He moves past me into the dining room, where he keeps his laptop and work files. I follow him, watching as he efficiently packs his bag. "Can we talk?" I ask. Marcus pauses, then turns to face me. "What is there to say that you haven't already said? You cheated, you lied. You're having his baby." "I know," I say, fresh tears welling, "and I'll regret it every day for the rest of my life. But I love you, Marcus. We can get past this." He shakes his head slowly. "Maybe you do love me, in your way, but not enough to be faithful. Not enough to be honest." He zips up his bag with finality. "I deserve better than that, Liv." The use of my nickname, spoken with such sadness, breaks something inside me. I sink into a chair at the dining table, one hand instinctively cradling my swollen belly. "What about the baby?" I ask quietly. "You were so excited. You already love this child." Marcus's expression softens slightly as he looks at my bump. "I did. I do. But I can't raise another man's child knowing it came from betrayal. Especially not with him still in the picture through your work." "I can get another job," I offer desperately. "I'll cut all ties with Jason." "It's not just about Jason," Marcus says, slinging his bag over his shoulder. "It's about trust. I'll never be able to look at you or this child without remembering the lies. That's not fair to any of us." He moves toward the door, then pauses. "I've spoken to a lawyer. Divorce papers will be coming your way next week. I'm not going to drag this out or try to hurt you. Clean break, fair split of assets." "Marcus, please." I'm sobbing now, beyond caring how pathetic I sound. "Please don't do this. I made one mistake." He turns back one last time, his expression a mixture of pity and resolved sadness. "One mistake? Olivia, you had an affair. You got pregnant. You lied to me for months, letting me believe I was going to be a father. You watched me paint a nursery for a baby that isn't mine. Those aren't one mistake. Those are dozens of choices you made every day to continue deceiving me." His words hit me like physical blows. He's right, of course. Every day I didn't tell him was another choice to lie. "I'm sorry," I whisper, knowing it's inadequate. "I know," he says, "so am I." And then he's gone, the door closing quietly behind him. The legal office of Henderson & Associates is sleek and impersonal, all glass and chrome and tasteful abstract art. I sit in an uncomfortable chair across from our mediator, a no-nonsense woman in her 50s named Barbara, while Marcus sits beside his lawyer at the other end of the table. At 8 months pregnant, I'm enormous, uncomfortable, and emotionally exhausted. The divorce proceedings have been underway for 2 months now, and today is supposed to be the final meeting before everything is signed and submitted to the court. So to summarize, Barbara says, reviewing her notes, the division of assets has been agreed upon as follows. Marcus will keep the apartment and assume the remaining mortgage, while Olivia will receive a cash settlement of 50% of the equity. Joint bank accounts have already been divided, personal property has been sorted. Marcus has waived any claim to Olivia's retirement accounts, and vice versa. She looks up at us. Is this still agreeable to both parties? Marcus nods. I do too, though none of it matters to me anymore. In the past 2 months, I've watched the man I love transform into a polite stranger who speaks to me only through lawyers and mediators. He looks better than he did when he came to collect his things. He's put on weight, his hair is freshly cut, and there's a calm about him that wasn't there before. I, on the other hand, feel like I'm disintegrating. Between the pregnancy, the divorce, and the ongoing awkwardness at work with Jason, who keeps insisting we should try to be a family. For the baby's sake, I barely recognize myself anymore. Then we're done here, Barbara says, sliding papers across the table for signatures. Once these are filed with the court, you'll be officially divorced in approximately 60 days. Marcus signs without hesitation, his pen moving efficiently across each marked line. When it's my turn, I hesitate, my hand trembling. Is there a problem, Mrs. Reynolds? Barbara asks. No, I say quickly, blinking back tears. No problem. I sign the papers, officially ending 8 years of marriage with a few strokes of a pen. As we gather our things to leave, I try one last time to speak directly to Marcus. Thank you for being fair about all this, I say softly. I know you didn't have to be. He looks at me properly for the first time today, his expression not unkind but distant. It wasn't about punishing you, Liv. It was about doing what's right for both of us. I know. I hesitate, then add, I still love you, I always will. Something flickers across his face. Pain, regret, I'm not sure. Then it's gone, replaced by that new serenity he seems to have found. I hope you and the baby will be happy, he says simply. Goodbye, Olivia. And then he's gone, walking out of the room and my life with the same quiet dignity he's shown throughout this entire ordeal. I stand there, one hand on my belly, feeling the baby, a boy according to the ultrasound, kick energetically against my palm. In just a few weeks, I'll be a single mother to Jason's son, living in a new apartment I don't particularly like, working at a job that's become awkward and uncomfortable. This wasn't how any of this was supposed to go. 10 months later, I'm pushing my son's stroller along the path at Riverbend Plaza, enjoying the summer sunshine. Ethan, named after my grandfather, not Jason's insistent preference for Jason Jr., is 8 months old and starting to babble, his curious eyes taking in the world around him. Co-parenting with Jason has been challenging. He was enthusiastic at first, showing up at the hospital with stuffed animals and balloons, taking dozens of photos to show off his son to everyone at work. But the reality of 3 a.m. feedings and diaper changes quickly dampened his enthusiasm. Now he takes Ethan every other weekend and complains about child support payments. I've left Horizon Marketing for a smaller firm across town, taking a slight pay cut, but gaining distance from Jason and the constant whispers about our scandal. My new colleagues know I'm a single mom, but not the messy details. As I round a corner near the plaza's central fountain, I stop dead in my tracks. There, sitting on a bench facing the water, is Marcus. He's not alone. A woman sits beside him, her head on his shoulder, his arm around her waist. They're laughing about something, completely absorbed in each other. My heart constricts painfully in my chest. He looks good, better than good. He's tanned and fit, his hair slightly longer than he used to wear it. He looks happy in a way I haven't seen in years, maybe even in a way I've never seen. I should turn around, go another way, avoid this painful encounter. But before I can move, he glances up and sees me. Our eyes lock across the distance, and for a moment, the world narrows to just us, to all we were and all we lost. The woman notices his distraction and follows his gaze. When she sees me, she straightens slightly but doesn't remove herself from Marcus's embrace. She's pretty, not in a flashy way, but with a natural confidence that reminds me, painfully, of how I used to be. Marcus says something to her, then stands and walks toward me. I freeze, unsure whether to flee or stay. Olivia, he says when he reaches me, his voice neutral but not cold. How are you? I'm okay, I reply, suddenly acutely aware of my unwashed hair pulled back in a messy ponytail, the baby spit up on my shoulder, the dark circles under my eyes. You look well. Thanks. He hesitates, then peers into the stroller. Is this? Yes, I say. This is Ethan. He's 8 months now. Marcus nods, his expression unreadable as he looks at my son, the living proof of my betrayal. He's a beautiful baby, he says finally, and I can tell he means it. Thank you. I glance toward the bench where the woman waits patiently. Your girlfriend? Megan, he confirms. We've been seeing each other for about 6 months. She's an environmental engineer. We met at a sustainable design conference. She seems nice, I say, fighting to keep my voice steady. I'm happy for you, Marcus. Really. He studies my face for a moment, as if searching for the truth behind my words. Are you happy, Liv? With everything? The question catches me off guard with its sincerity. I consider lying, putting on a brave face, but what's the point now? Not really, I admit. Jason isn't exactly father of the year material. Being a single mom is harder than I expected. I stop myself before saying you. I miss my old life sometimes. Marcus nods, understanding what I'm not saying. I'm sorry it's been tough. Don't be sorry, I say quickly. None of this is your fault. It's all on me and I'm dealing with the consequences. Ethan chooses that moment to fuss, his little face scrunching up in preparation for a cry. I reach into the stroller to adjust his blanket, and he grabs my finger, instantly calming. He knows his mom, Marcus observes softly. He's the one good thing to come out of all this, I say, looking down at my son. I wouldn't trade him for anything, even with all the complications. Marcus is quiet for a moment, then says, I should get back to Megan. Of course. I force a smile. It was good to see you, Marcus. You too. He hesitates, then adds, take care of yourself, Liv, and him. I will. As he walks back to Megan, I watch him go, realizing with painful clarity exactly what I threw away. Not just a husband, but a partner. A good man with integrity and kindness, who loved me completely. The kind of father Ethan deserves, but will never have. I push the stroller forward, continuing my walk, tears blurring my vision. Behind me, I hear laughter. Marcus and Megan, moving on with their lives while I'm still stuck in the wreckage of my own making. That night, after putting Ethan to bed in our small one-bedroom apartment, I sit on my balcony with a glass of wine, looking at the city lights. My phone buzzes with a text from Jason, canceling his weekend with Ethan again due to work commitments I know are actually a date with the new receptionist. I scroll through my photo gallery to a picture from 3 years ago, Marcus and me on our anniversary trip to Sedona, both of us sunburned and grinning, his arm around my shoulders, my head tucked against his chest. We look happy, solid, unbreakable. I think I did this. I broke us, and he's the one who's whole again while I'm still in pieces. The lesson is cruel but clear. Respect and honesty matter more than excitement or novelty. By the time I learned that, it was already too late. I close the photo and check on my sleeping son, his tiny chest rising and falling peacefully. They'll never know the life he could have had with Marcus as his father, but I'll spend the rest of my life trying to give him everything else he deserves, including the truth, someday, about how one person's selfish choices can change so many lives forever. In the soft glow of Ethan's nightlight, I make a silent promise to be better, to learn from my mistakes, to raise my son to be more like Marcus than like me, or his biological father. It's cold comfort, but it's all I have left. That, and the bittersweet knowledge that Marcus found his happiness again, even if it couldn't be with me.